So you saw the last Gymports video where we off-roaded a G-Wagon, and you want to get one for yourself, but you don't want to get a rusted out piece of shit. You want to get something good, but you want to save a few bucks. Well, you are in the right place. So come along with Gymports as we go to the birthplace of the G-Wagon, not Germany, but Austria. On today's video, we are going to talk to two G-Wagon experts. We're talking to Richie from the last video, a man that has owned and operated multiple G-Wagons over the years, and we're also talking to my buddy Bernie Paltram. He owns them, he restores them, oh yeah, and he also operates a Mercedes dealership in Austria. But before we talk to Bernie, I'm reintroducing you to my buddy Richie, the guy you saw in the last video who daily drives a military 461, the Wolf G-Wagon. No leather, no wood, no AC, just raw rattling diesel-powered simplicity. Now, most people in their right minds would never daily one of these, but Richie is not most people.
Now, you daily drove a 461. Most people would not do that. Again, we talked about you're crazy.
That's true.
There are no creature comforts, especially if you live where I live in Florida. There's no way you're going to have this. But let's say I wanted to have a daily drivable G-Class. I wanted to have something that was good off-road. I wanted to keep a sane budget. What direction do I go in?
I would look at the 90s till late 90s 463 models. They had good engines, like the G500. The before year 2000 G500 has a natural aspirated V8, 5-liter V8. The engine is awesome. It's great. The transmission is awesome. You have creature comforts. You can drive for long drives, and you can go off-road. Basically, the suspension system, off-road capability is almost the same, or it is actually the same as with the 461.
Is there a G500 that doesn't have like leather and wood grain and shit like that, or did they all have
They
that?
all had it. They all had it, unfortunately. It's the G500s were mostly sold with high specs.
Yeah.
They had every options available because they were really expensive cars at that time.
What about like if we bump it down to like what I think it's like the 2 Series or 3 Series? I like how rugged yours is.
Yeah.
But no
AC.
I would want something I could drive to the office, but then bring out here on the weekends. And something that's a little bit more rugged. It doesn't have black leather interior like the G500s would just look silly in the wood grain. How do I get something that has some amenities, but also has a utilitarian feel, and I'm also, I can off-road with it?
Well, that's the mid-90s 463 would be ideal in this case, because it has like the 350 or the 320 petrol version. It's quite good power. It's reliable. It's not that complicated as the later models, as like the post-2001 models. And it has cloth seats. It's workable.
Are there any that we should stay away from? Absolutely. Any G-Wagons that we should stay away from?
Actually, if you can get a G-Wagon that is in good shape, just take it. It's, I think the worst thing with a G-Wagon is if they're not maintained properly, if they're not taken care of, and if the G-Wagon is really rusty. Like rust is a really big problem of the G-Wagons. Stay away from it.
So inspect it very carefully before you buy it. Maybe ask for maintenance records.
Yes, exactly. Maintenance records. Make a walk around, see if there is any rust. If there was rust repairs done. Every G-Wagon in this age, I mean, these vehicles are 25 years old, 30 years old. Every G-Wagon has rust, especially if it was driven in the salt. If it was taken care of, if the rust repairs were done, it's a good vehicle.
Are there any particular models or engines where you say just do not do it?
Well, the more modern one, I wouldn't take like the 400 CDI, but it's post 2000, 2001. And some models had problems like the 350 GD. They had problems with cylinder heads and temperature problems, but if it was taken care of, it's okay to do.
For the most part, the maintenance has been done. Pretty much any pre-2000 G-Wagon, I'm going to have an okay time with it?
I think you will. The vehicle has to be in working order because parts are expensive. It's not that hard to fix, but you still there is some parts that are not available anymore, so you have to be careful with it. But
what's the maintenance like on these, any of them?
Well, basically with this one I just do oil changes, and everything I damage off-road I have to repair, but since I can do it myself, it's not that bad of a deal.
After we went off-roading with Richie, we went to Paltram Auto House, a Mercedes dealership owned by my buddy Bernie Paltram. Bernie owns, restores, and sells G-Wagons and knows everything that there is to know about the G-Wagon.
How many G-Wagons have you owned?
At the moment, only 6.
Only 6. Just 6. What a shame. How many have you owned ever?
About 10 and 15.
About 10 or 15.
Yes.
Yeah. So great trucks. You like them a lot.
Yes.
Yeah.
We started by looking at a stripped-down W461 that's in the middle of a full restoration. We're over here at Paltram Auto House. Let's have a look at some of these G-Wagons that belong to Mr. Bernie Paltram.
Bernard.
Hello.
Always good to have you, Bernie. You may remember Bernie from the Pinsgauer video.
You must drive once with the truck, and then you love it.
No, that is 100% true.
Yes.
Here's one that he's been restoring since 2019. This is a 461
290 turbo diesel.
turbo diesel with a 5-cylinder engine.
5-cylinder engine, yes.
Are the 5-cylinder engines reliable?
This engine is a very simple and a very good engine.
How many kilometers does it last before it breaks down?
This engine is also in the Sprinter.
Oh, wow.
And they drive about 600,000 kilometers.
600,000?
Yes.
Making sure that nothing got lost in translation. Wow.
One of the most important things before you buy any G-Wagon, rust is your biggest enemy, and worst of all, much of it is often hidden. Bernie shows us where to look.
What am I looking for on the body for problems, like with rust?
The problems are here on the frame of the window, here and here. You look here a little bit, yes?
Here, Ryan.
Between the gasket and the frame is always a little bit rust.
Okay, so is it a good idea to remove the gasket, check, and replace?
Yes. Here is often rusty.
Road salt?
Salt, yes, and here where the holes.
This area right here.
Yes.
Yeah, two body panels meet here, and it traps moisture,
yes,
probably
yes,
water
yes.
gets in there.
And here inside.
Turn signals there.
Yes.
Yeah. Is there anywhere else, or is that about it?
The doors.
Doors?
The doors. The frame is a problem of corrosion. The consoles of the shock absorber.
Right.
This one. The console of the spring and the pipes.
Anything in terms of the engine? Anything in terms of the transmission?
Engine and transmission.
No problem?
No problems, no. The front axle is often leaky.
Leaky front
Yes,
axle.
yes,
Is that expensive to repair?
About 2,000 euros.
Oh, so yeah, not expensive, but not cheap either. Yeah.
Yeah, you must look up the engine and the gearbox, check for leaks.
Check all the gaskets, anywhere where body panels are meeting, anywhere where you've got trim components. You need to check those very thoroughly for rust whenever you're buying them. Now, the good news is, according to Bernie, doesn't matter the transmission, doesn't matter the engine. Now, some of the engines can be a little bit underpowered, but if you're looking at, say, a 5-cylinder turbo diesel, Bernie says that these are stone cold reliable. They'll go up to 600,000 kilometers. He very rarely sees any of these with any problems. You might have to get the head gasket replaced depending on the age of the vehicle, but he says these are incredibly robust cars. So these are known as the 461. You're looking at military worker vehicle. This is the 463. For my gun guys out there, this one actually belonged to the Glock family. So this is the AMG with the compressor engine.
Bernie had a high-spec 463 AMG that used to belong to the Glock family in his showroom. This is like the Rolex Submariner of G-Wagons. It's expensive and luxurious, but it can still get the job done.
This is a 463, 2008, about 500 horsepower.
It's very nice.
This is the luxury version.
Yeah.
And the 461 is the working and army version.
Yes, which is that's what I like. This is, no, I don't want this. You know, this is too nice. Is it also reliable?
Yes.
The 463 is generally reliable?
Yes.
Bernie's constantly working on G-Wagons, whether it's his or his customers, so his garage was full of great examples. Bernie showed me this Muddy Wolf freshly back from Hellsclom, which is the off-roading club and course that we went to in the last video.
We've got a 461, a Wolf, which is like what we were driving at Hellsclom.
Yes.
This one looks like it's muddy, it's dirty, but it looks like it's in good shape.
It's muddy from the Hellsclom.
This is the 250.
250.
What is the 250 GD engine?
The 250 GT is
Also five-cylinder?
5-cylinder, 2.5
liter.
liters.
What work are you doing to this one?
Cylinder head seal.
Oh,
Yes.
a head gasket. Yes,
Gasket,
yeah,
head
doing.
gasket, yes.
I understand that that's a common maintenance item
Yes,
that people
yes,
do
yes.
when they're this age. It looks like it's in good condition.
Yes.
What mileage does this have? Do you know?
I don't know.
Let's
I
check.
must look.
Yeah, let's look.
58,000.
Just 58,000. And you've got another couple more here in the shop.
Many of you may recall from last video that the G-Wagon was actually invented by Steyr Puch, yes, the Austrian gun company, and the original G-Wagons were referred to as the Puch, P-U-C-H Gs. And in fact, Bernie had just bought one for himself from a government auction.
This is the Austrian version.
Steyr Puch?
This is the Puch
Ah.
250. Same model. But the Austrian version.
Right. I've ridden in one of these before.
Yes.
Are these also pretty reliable? Are these the same
It's
truck?
all the same. The Puch had the Austrian army and the Swiss army. And the Swiss army sold very much of these cars. I bought this car from an auction.
Now, while you might think it's only the off-roading 461s that get any rust, even the new luxurious 463s suffer from the exact same rust issues that you see on the 461s. Indeed, on this newish G500 that Bernie's restoring, he showed me where he'd already removed some rust and where there was still some rust to take out. And guess what? It tracks all the hot spots that he showed us from the classic G-Wagon at the beginning of the video.
G500, but here we see a little.
Here the doors.
Yeah, I see that.
This is one of my cars.
Did you have rust?
Yes,
I can see where
it's all repaired.
Yeah.
The frame is repaired.
Oh yes, it looks new.
Yes.
So all the things that we talked about inside,
Yes,
you had to do all of that to this.
All right, here is my favorite G-Wagon. This is a mid-90s short wheelbase. Bernard showed me one of his favorite off-roading Gs, a G350 diesel. It's a 463 that is the newer body style. This G's been trouble-free for over 200,000 kilometers. But just like the G500 we looked at, this one suffers from rust in all those same places.
You drive this one off-road.
Yes. This one I drive only off-road.
This is short wheelbase. Is this a diesel?
Diesel.
5-cylinder?
This is a 6-cylinder, 350.
6-cylinder 350.
Yes.
Is the diesel reliable also?
Turbo diesel, yes.
Do you like the diesel or the petrol better?
Turbo diesel and petrol, the 500.
See, this to me is good. This is what I like. Cloth seats.
Yes.
It's got some of the wood. What year is this one?
This is 1995.
463 body.
463. Yes, here you can see the problems of the car.
Oh yeah.
The doors.
There you go. Yeah, Ryan, get a look at. Yeah, so that's where you really need to look for rust, down there. How many miles does this one have?
200,000 about.
And no problems?
No problems, no.
Wow, that's amazing.
I have my daily car here.
Your daily?
Yes.
If you want a rugged off-road vehicle, definitely look at a 461. If you want something between, maybe one of the mid-90s 463s is for you. But if you want something a little bit more luxurious that's going to be reliable and still capable off-road, maybe you look at one of the late models before the full redesign in 2019, like Bernie's 2018 Daily Driver.
This is my daily car.
Turbo diesel?
Turbo diesel, 3 liters V6.
Wow. Yeah, this is very nice. What year is this?
This is 2018.
Okay.
This is the last of the old model.
Uh-huh.
And
then 2019, yeah.
And end of 2018, beginning 2019 is the new model.
What do you think of the new model?
I like this.
Let me ask you, 463 or 461?
463 and 461 are the same cars. It's only this is luxury, the other is commercial.
Not much difference.
No.
So get what you like.
For everyday driving, the 463. For working, the 461.
According to Bernie, 2018 was the end of an era. That was the last year you could buy a G-Class before Mercedes gave it a Brazilian butt lift and a TikTok personality. The 2019 Plus trucks look the part, but they're more Maybach than military.
Bernard, thank you very much. It's an honor for you to have us again. We love, this is not a shop, this is a museum.
Okay.
We love this. So thank you very much. And guys, thanks for watching. Take care.
So if you're shopping for a real G, as a general rule, the newer it is, the more luxurious and more complicated the engine's going to be, while earlier models will generally be more simple, more reliable, more durable, and better candidates for off-roading. So what do you buy? Like Bernie and Richie said, these are incredibly reliable trucks, so you don't even really need to worry about mileage all that much. Just make sure you get a well-maintained example, check it thoroughly for rust. Basically, if you avoid a neglected truck, you can probably scoop up a really good G-Wagon for under $35,000 or $40,000 in the United States and have a car that looks good, runs well, and could maybe even rip up a trail or two. Thanks again to Bernie and Richie for their contributions to this video. Thank you for watching. Take care.